Hi everybody, it's Blake Irving, CEO of GoDaddy, and I am pleased to be here with Jefferson Shallenberger, who is the CEO of Sugar Percussion in beautiful Santa Cruz, California. Sugar Percussion builds some of the best custom drums you've ever seen, and for those of you who know me as a drummer, I had immediate appreciation for what he was doing 2+ years ago when I came through, and just kind of have been following him. I guess you'd say stalking him on the web.
Perfect.
Watching equipment, watching some of the talks he's given, and really inspiring story about somebody who was building furniture and fell into building drums when his own kit crapped out on him long.
You don't really need me here. You know the whole story.
I know the whole story. That's what a creeper I am. Anyway, so Jefferson, super nice to hang out with you and to buy a kit from you and get that thing set up, and thanks for walking me through that.
You bet.
How did you transition from being a high quality craftsman for furniture into drums?
So, as you said, I had a kit that fell apart, and I had a wood shop because I'd been making furniture for quite a while. And then I went to look for her replacement, and I was pretty underwhelmed with what was commercially available. So I cannibalized all the hardware off that old kit and then started building shells, and so that's how it started. And that first kit was a piece of crap. I won't. It was slow beginnings, but I came back to it, and
but build your own kit to replace the one that you had as a kid and you loved is different than starting a business. How did you have the guts to say, like, hey, I'm going to build drum kits for a living?
Well, you call it guts. I call it, that's what I knew. That's the only thing I knew how to do. It's not like I was choosing between law school and med school or building drums, and I did this. It was, I had been building for, I think, 15 years before I started the drum company. So, for myself. So, I don't think I could work for someone else. Because I don't think I could. So I appreciate you calling it guts. I think that's a little generous.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely.
Why? Because you just kind of went into it blindly.
I don't like working for other people. I just want to do it myself. I don't like conceding to what someone else decided to make. I'm the guy that buys something and then takes it apart and tries to make it better, or ends up breaking it.
So we kind of characterize a lot of our customers who are a lot of solopreneurs, a lot of folks that have less than 5 employees, like the situation, very similar situation to what you have today, and they characterize their journey and their trip about, well, I was really passionate about this thing. I didn't want to work for anybody else, or I was tired of working for somebody else and I wanted to do something on my own.
You're using this lovely flowery language, guts and passion, and I think it was, I went to furniture making school because I didn't know what I wanted to do, and I had an uncle that suggested. I was hiding from real life. It was another summer that I could take off and not commit to some sort of career. I had a U.S. history degree from college, which I have yet to use, and then I just started playing at that, met someone there, we started a shop, and 20 years later, it was kind of like, I guess this is what I'm doing. It wasn't, I discovered a passion and I want to follow it, and how do I do that practically? It wasn't so calculated, it was pretty lucky.
You kind of fell into it.
Yeah, I've just been playing for 20 years. I've been hiding, Blake.
But Jeff, that's a good deal. That's a good deal, though, right? You figure out how to hide.
I'm a professional hider.
Being a professional hider and figuring out how to make your living at it.
Yeah.
A lot of people aspire to that.
Yeah, and that a living. That's been various degrees of a living. But
so have you had oh shit moments? Have you felt like, hey, this is like highs and lows and?
Yeah, plenty of oh shit moments. Some really long ones too. At the beginning, the furniture business was sort of the model, or what not to do kind of thing. That was a lot of years of not really, sort of clumsily figuring out how to do it. So by the time I started the drum company, I had plenty of failure to reflect on, to try and expedite the success. So that one's been a better, rise, a more consistent rise, and it's been going really well. I've been incredibly lucky. The people that I've met along the way have lubricated my success. The sort of alliances that I've made with producers or drummers have really helped the thing grow much more quickly than I would have ever imagined.
So, in all your marketing, is it word of mouth plus your website? But
it's word of mouth. Yeah.
how's that happen?
That's a great question.
Do you know?
My mom, my sister,
guys like me.
Yeah, stalkers.
Stalkers.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we've done some video work, some pretty bad ones at the beginning. It was important to me from the beginning to make the thing feel personal. Like, I wanted to establish the quality, but also make it feel personal. So it's, when I first started the drum business, I went to the stores and I found the $2,000 snares, all the companies that I had read about that were the best ones. I looked at their drums and I examined their drums, and then I went and looked at their websites, and I had met some of these makers, and they were really charismatic people, great anecdotes and fun and pleasurable people, and then their websites looked like it was for an office park, and it was really stiff and just kind of bland, and so I didn't want it to be like that. I wanted you to get a feel for the shop. I wanted you to get a feel for the people, those traits being both good and bad, and so
but real and authentic.
Yeah.
Why are your drums different?
Well, we make them in a way that not many people are making them. They're all solid wood. We build them like a wine barrel, so it's called stave construction. And that was because that was, with the woodworking vocabulary that I had from furniture making, that method made the most sense.
Why?
Well, the way you construct them was easy pickings from my vocabulary from making furniture. Like, to make a circle was not that hard after. I wasn't set up with machinery to make plywood drums. Plus, there are plenty of companies doing that really well. The industry didn't need another one. You can steam bend shells, and the best guy that does that, although he just passed away, regrettably, is just down the road. Okay. And that's Craviotto. And
in Santa Cruz. He's
in Watsonville.
Okay. Yeah.
There was no one doing it better, and I wasn't going to be able to do that better. So there was no point of me chasing that. So it was this construction method that felt like maybe there's a place that I can add something to it. Bring my neuroses to that end of the pool. Yeah.
Your neuroses, though, produces something that's different.
Yeah.
Because you care enough to stay true to what you're trying to do with shells resonating more. I mean, if I think about even just sort of the way that you've developed the hardware to be very light touch, like that was deliberate.
It's all about like noise in my head. So I go to my mom's house, and she's a clutter freak, and she has tchotchkes everywhere, and it's like a really crowded room, and I hate being in it. So the same way I'm building something and things are turning out right, that's quiet. Things that are turning out wrong, that's noisy. So the whole process is trying to just calm the noises in my head. So I'm how do I put this? Essentially, I'm bothered by everything. So the drum is done when I'm no longer bothered, which is
interesting.
Yeah, there's got to be a more eloquent way of putting that, but that's what I have right now.
Well, I mean, you're kind of getting to, I don't know.
Careful, don't say it.
Sort of like, I don't know. Well, it's sort of this purity of I don't know, silence, which is kind of funny because it's something that's intended to make noise.
Yeah, but I don't play them. I'm a terrible drummer, so they go away for that.
But, yeah, me too. But
I mean, to me, it's it's a musical instrument. It's meant to make noise, but really, it's another handmade wooden thing that I'm making. Just like the furniture, it's just like that's how there's kind of a relationship with each. This sounds really bad, but there's a relationship with each drum through the process. I go to the lumber store and I'm picking out from a big stack of wood, and it's like, why am I picking that one? It's for lack of a better, it's quieter. There are no things about that stick of wood that are bothering me. That one's better, so put that on the truck and take it back. And then as I'm constructing, as I'm cutting it, and the tension's coming out, I'm sort of getting to know it. So by the time it's 60, 80 hours by the time this kit is done, I've really gotten to know what was going on with that tree in that part of the world, and it's a relationship. So it's like I have hundreds upon hundreds of children that I
not only
sell.
that, but you saw your children. There is another name for them.
Yes.
You actually went to I came in, I had a preconceived notion of what I wanted, because I just ordered a kit from you.
Okay.
And you talked me out of not everything, but a lot of what I wanted.
We call it custom, but it's really just about what I want.
And you went and changed sizes.
Yeah.
So tell me why'd you do that? Why did it make sense?
just from learning, from building these different relationships with different people for whom I've built, getting their input, and I've heavily favored the production side, the recording side of drums, because drummers, no offense, it's like the conversations we have. I start to wax on about the intricacies in the wood and the species and the climate and all this work, and they just sort of go gray-eyed and they just want to know how loud the thing goes. But you go start to talking to someone who's recording an instrument, and it's about, you know, what's the sound doing, how what's the resonance, and what are the frequencies, you know, and it's sort of a level of nerdery that's more engaging to me.
Yeah, all the way to the prime number set.
Like this is the prime example of like a real heady exchange between a producer in LA and I, and we designed this kit, which is now his signature kit, based on building a drum kit that will perform in a certain way in a studio, specifically in a studio, not for live. It needs to do these one things, and it needs to not do these things that other kits do, that he's always having to try to tame in the studio. So exchanges like that have informed subsequent drums. And so when you come to me and tell me I want this size and this size, well, I built those sizes at the beginning, but they were doing things that I didn't really like, and then I manipulate them to these sizes, and I like those a lot better. So that's when I nudge you towards
one inch hoop change there, 1 inch hoop change there.
It's all just language. It just makes it sound much cooler, and then I can charge way more for that. Yeah. So
this is a question that you're going to hate, but so like, do you have you're a leader in your industry, and this is why you hate it, because you don't fancy yourself such. But you know, you're a leader. You've built a business. Do you have a philosophy around whether it's quality or production or customers or the people that work for you? Like, what matters and what's meaningful?
Philosophy sounds like something I'm trying to get other people to follow. It's much more personal than that. It's you know, it again goes back.
I think the best ones are.
Yeah, it goes back to just sort of how do I feel about what's leaving the shop, and I generally feel bad until I feel good. Kind of, it's got to be. I'm really trying to sort of circumnavigate this like flowery language of it's passion and art, and it's all this. It's really just I feel bad if the thing is not well built.
Yeah.
I don't know where that came from. I used to begrudge my dad when he gave me that crap about if you're going to do it right, and I have had to eat that crow many times. But you know, like where I went to furniture school, they taught us that everything should be perfect. There shouldn't be an ugly side anywhere, and that really resonated with me, and so that's gone on with the furniture and the drums. It's just I just care a lot about what, you know, how well made they are. Turns out if you make them really well, they sound really good.
Turns out.
Serendipity.
Yeah, really, or maybe by intent.
Yeah.
I know you wax about serendipity and luck and all those things, and I got to think some of your shit's by intent.
I'll never take credit.
Yeah, of course not. So who's playing your kits now? The people watching might know.
People ask this question. I don't have big name drummers. The Black Crowes drummer Steve Gorman was sort of the first big guy. Of course, that band disbanded recently.
Wasn't because of your drums.
No, it wasn't. Let's see. Most of my drums are going to studios. They're going to producers in LA and Nashville. We spend a lot of time in Nashville. I really like that community. Yeah. It's really like fibrous, connected community.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
Yeah, my mother-in-law worked in Tammy Wynette's house for like 25 years, I think.
Nice.
Very interesting community.
Yeah.
Very different than LA.
Yeah. Quite a bit. I love LA. I really like LA, but I would rather have dinner at someone's house in Nashville.
Yeah, probably be smaller house.
Yeah.
So, Santa Cruz, did you grow up here? Did you choose it?
No, I should probably bite my tongue. We came here because it was directly in between my daughter's grandmothers. One an hour south, one an hour east. And my daughter was tight with both her grandmas, and so that was important. This was after furniture school. Yeah. And so that was really important to continue that. And so that's why we're here, because both those grandmas are still there. Did this thing fall? Excuse me. So that's why I'm here. Said daughter is now 14. She's just starting 9th grade. So I'm at least stuck here for another. Oh, she's. people say it. She's an absolute dream. She's the best human that I know. I've done nothing in this life to deserve this child.
And the company's actually
Her middle name is Sugar. Yeah.
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 That's super cool.
All proceeds. Yeah.
Eventually.
Eventually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Once college happens.
Yeah.
Yeah. Please pick a state school.
No. Forget college. You're going to woodworking school. You're going to come back to the shop.
Oh yeah. That's
Yeah.
always a good idea to have them working with your parents and your wife
Yeah.
or whatever. No. Anyway, well, thank you very much for spending time with us. And,
Yeah, of
you know,
course.
it's like 7:45 on a Wednesday night, and you stuck around for us.
Whatever.
I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
And thanks for for being as humble a guy as you are, and for building super great quality drum kits that make differences to other people, even if you think it's just serendipity. It's pretty amazing stuff.
Thanks for trying to fill my ego.
Yeah, I'll do all I can.
Appreciate it. You and my mom.
Thanks. Yeah, right. Thanks. Over and out, everybody.